Hello and welcome to the first episode of Tara's Trains and Tractors. We're going to be taking a look at the Caterpillar number 12 motor grader in 1/87 scale by Norscot. This model came out, I think, about 2007 based on the copyright date. It was part of a line where they partnered with the Antique Caterpillar Machinery Owners Club to make a series of pre-1960 vintage Caterpillar vehicles. And what best I could find, this is the one they've done in HO. I've seen a few in 1/50th scale and even larger, I think up to 1/16 scale. I think the whole kind of idea was to make it fit sort of in the same general display case size you see right here in base, kind of all go as a series. So we'll take it off the display base here and I'll unbox it and show you more. Okay, so for the purpose of this review, this model was pre-owned, though I think it still was basically brand new. When new, it comes attached to the display base here with those kind of gray metal wire ties, so I've already removed those, and we're going to take the box off first, just so I can show you the box, because since it's not attached to the base, it's going to fall off if I try and show you anything, so we'll go ahead and slide it out here. It comes with a neat little kind of display base, as soon as I can get it out of the box. And obviously, it's a little bit used, at least was banged around a little bit, because you can see the plastic on the display base was cracked. The little cover here that does come off, which isn't a big deal to me. I bought it for the model itself because I want more vintage 1/87 scale construction equipment, and there doesn't seem to be too much, so finding this was pretty cool. So we'll slide that aside for a sec so we can take a look at the box real fast. And like I said, I think all the ones I've seen, they fit the same box, so they kind of scaled the model to fit this box and display size, so they all kind of like match on the shelf, I guess. It's here on the side where they talk about the ACMOC club there, and more information about that. On the back, it's got some information, a little diagram of a version of the number 12 without a cab on it, kind of showing you, if you want to pause it here, just the various components. And then some information about the product there, 1/87 scale, display base, die-cast construction, thinner detailing, vintage paint scheme. This is item number 55173. And then there's more information on the side about Norscot. And then the bottom has a bit more information about the product. And another vintage photo there. This is a version of the cab, closer to what the model actually represents. And just various copyright, legal information on the bottom there. Okay, so we'll slide the model over here. So the display base is pretty cool to have. Like I said, it's unfortunate it's cracked, but I got a good deal on it. These are easy enough, it seems like, to find on eBay, but if you want to get a better price, I think I paid about $20-ish, maybe a little bit more with shipping to get this version, whereas I think the more I've seen are trending around 30 or 40. And of course, you can obviously get one with a better condition base, or display case kind of top here if you would like, but I'm not too concerned about that, so we'll go ahead and take that off. And it's cool down here too. It has the name of what the item is. This is Caterpillar Diesel number 12, motor grader. And it's just basically gravity held onto the base here. Once you cut the little ties here, I'll hold it onto the base. You can see the holes come through. It just lifts right off. You want to be careful cutting those, though, so you don't damage the model. You can set that aside. You can see it just kind of rests there, and then the blade goes right there. Okay, now we've got the model out here on the rotating base and get a better look at it. Number 12 grader was introduced in 1938 and is still produced today. Obviously, it's been a lot more modernized than this. The 12 in the name actually stands for the width of the blade. That's 12 feet across right there. It's powered by a Caterpillar D318 diesel engine rated at 100 horsepower. Motor graders are generally used just for flattening out roads and dirt paths and stuff like that. Many other applications too, snow plowing you can do with it and stuff like that. But we'll take a look at the details too. You can see it's got plenty of lettering on it and some actual paint accents. It's not just solidly painted yellow. It's got the Caterpillar here on the front frame. Also here on the cab side, and then even the small vertical Caterpillar by the engine compartment here, the rear Radiator grille is painted black, which is nice, and you can see inside the engine compartment. I think once you'll see it once it turns back around, part of the top of the manifold is actually painted in silver. On the other side, you've got some other paint accents too. We'll pick it up here briefly. The steering wheel inside is painted black. And then there's your part of your engine compartment painted silver. You've got the exhaust stack and some other detail there painted silver. Paint overall is pretty nice, but there are some thin spots where you can kind of see the metal almost showing through. It just kind of looks more kind of off colors. You can see you get into more of the detailed areas, like the blade, you can kind of see it in some areas. So as far as functionality goes, the blade does rotate in the circle, left and right. You can rotate it basically 180 degrees. It's just on a rivet here, so it's pretty simple to move. The hydraulics here, though, the raise and lower the blade do not function. And then the rear tandem wheels back here, the tandem bar right there, does not function. They're just rigid back here. Neither does the front axle tilt left or right. It's all still rigid. So there's not a ton of articulation, but for HO scale, and especially an older, smaller model like this, I think it's a pretty good amount. As far as other details, there's no glass in the cab. It's all open windows. Wheels do rotate, of course. Those are separately applied, so that works great. Yeah, it was a pretty cool overall model to find. I definitely recommend picking one up if you want something more vintage for your layout or your collection, because getting new into this, I don't seem to see too many models that represent this era, so it's neat to have something, and I kind of wish, you know, now that Norscot's owned by Diecast Masters, they do some more vintage equipment. I know they do some in 1/50th scale and larger, which is cool, but I like my HO scale size stuff because of course, I can also pair it up with my HO scale Model Railroad stuff, as well as just being smaller and nicer to display. So, and just for some fun, we've got the number 12 next to a more modern and larger 163H. This is also originally made by Norscot. Now it's made by Diecast Masters. This particular one was sold through Menards during the Christmas season last year. And also an HO scale figure down here in the middle, just for a size comparison too, so you can kind of get a better grasp of how large the vehicle is. Diecast Masters does make a modern version of the number 12, the current production version. I'd like to pick that up at some point so I can do a kind of a neat comparison to, you know, then from now. Plus, I like their, I actually don't remember the name of it. They have a series where it comes with, in 1/50th scale, a current day and a vintage vehicle side-by-side in display base, and I really wish they do something like that in HO. So at least with those two, I can kind of get that going. So I would love to see more retro HO scale vehicles like these done in diecast. Anyways, hope y'all enjoyed, and thanks for watching.